NBA stuff I wanted to get to, if you don't
Let's jump to
mind.
the NBA. Let's go to the worst sport in America. Let's do
Okay.
it.
So there's a couple things going on right now. Gilbert Arenas made a statement about Jokic being the MVP. Or sorry, rewind a little bit. NBA executive said that unknown, obviously, that Jokic winning a third MVP is not going to look good down the line, and I agreed with it. I did, and then Gilbert Arenas agreed with it, but he's a lot of people don't agree with it. And here's my thing on the situation: LeBron won four MVPs in I think 6 years. I want to say I think it was 6 seasons he won. I think he won 2009, 2010, and
It was
2013.
four, and I think it was four. I'm just going
Well,
off
was
memory. I
it
can
was it four
fact
and
check.
five? Was it 4 and 5?
I feel like it was 4 and 5 with like
Okay.
Derrick Rose sandwiched in between, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because Derek was like
Something like
1 and 11. But anyways, he won a lot of MVPs during that time. Those are the only MVPs that he's won, and he is seen as one of the greatest players of all time. Like he's in the GOAT debate. Nikola Jokic is not going to be in the GOAT debate of anybody's GOAT debate at all. Like I don't even know if Jokic will be in the debate of greatest big men of all time.
he won't be a top five center of all time.
I don't think so.
He does
Like
nothing. Only because I said this, like people criticize, like you're crazy. He's like so good. I'm like, yeah, I know he's good, but you understand, as a big man, you're not only judged on what you do on the offense glass, but you're also judged what you do on defensive.
I agree.
Like we've seen Jokic before. Like, do people like look up the stuff? I'm not making this up. David Robinson, like he would do this. He was triple doubles too, man. Like this is what they did. Tim Duncan,
Sabonis'
like
dad.
Sabonis.
I
Like
forget his
we've
name,
seen
for
we've
sure
seen
thing.
this before. Not at the numbers because
The usage wasn't as high.
the
I mean, look at
use.
Luca.
Yeah,
Look at Luca's numbers. His high numbers are high because of his usage rate being, all time highs. Like
and but and then I'll give you this. I'll get, like someone wants to have a conversation with me. I'm totally fine with it. But Jokic gives you nothing on defense. Like absolutely nothing.
he's yeah
Like
he's a
absolutely
he's a
nothing.
he's a statue.
He like I made fun of him because Kyrie Irving made that crazy shot, left hand floater over him. But I'm like, dude, you're 7 feet and a guy 6'2" in the NBA. So really, he's like 6 feet tall. Like shoots a floater over you with their offhand. Like something should show people. Oh, he doesn't play defense. Like I and people are like that was a great contested shot. It shouldn't. Shaq, you think Shaq's gonna let that happen? Like, no.
Yeah,
Like, absolutely no.
I don't
Hakeem,
think Embiid's letting that happen. I
no.
mean,
Like,
just mention bigs that we have right now in the NBA. Embiid's not letting
there's
that
a bunch
happen.
of yeah. So Kareem, like I'm saying historically,
Oh yeah, I
even
know,
right?
but
And
I'm
then I'm
just
to your
yeah.
point. Yeah, I'm saying, but he has to go against these guys and against the Embiids of today. And I think overall he knows how to manipulate the stats into like really high whatever those nerds use, which is cool. But I'm just saying from watching the game, he's not a top five center that ever played. So when you
Yeah,
when you look back, like, and we do this now, right? Like I'm, you know, make 32 in a couple weeks here. You look down at the MVPs, like, dang, Steve Nash has two MVPs and Kobe has one. Like it's Steve Nash was a great player, but really similar to Jokic, he could manipulate the stats to his benefit, and his
hmm
team they were stacked roster wise, and like that's what happened. Like so that's how you could tell the story. Which but I think going into 3 and 4 and 5, I mean, I don't watch the NBA, so I'm not like a true fan anymore. I used to be, not anymore. Um, but yeah, go ahead and give them MVPs. But I'm sure people are gonna look back and be like, "Dang, how did Jokic get
three
7
MVPs.
MVPs
Yeah,
or something, and LeBron's only got four? Like,
yeah.
and
It
once
just
they're all
doesn't.
careers.
It doesn't
Now, the
really.
guy who's coming, Victor Wembanyama, I have to learn how to say his name because he's that good. I only care about I say your name if you're that good. He's somebody who they're gonna have problems with too, Joseph,
He
because
he
he's gonna lead the NBA in
in
potentially
blocks,
points, yeah, blocks,
steals,
steals, rebounds.
deflections.
Like it's gonna be like incredible.
I mean, do you see
Uh,
his stats right now?
it,
Dude's averaging almost 4 blocks a game as a rookie,
yeah, yeah,
and and
and he's
and
kind
with
of just winging it, just going off athleticism. He's
and
not.
with Wimby,
He
the thing
hasn't
about
developed the
him,
savvy that we were talking about.
yeah, exactly. We are talking about last episode.
Yeah,
The thing with Wimby that I love him the most is that defenders it's almost like Dwight Howard effect. Remember Dwight Howard? Remember Dwight Howard? Everybody, people would like little like guards would drop to the paint and like they see Dwight Howard and they just like leave the paint and they just pass
Yeah,
out or something like that. Like that's how I see
yeah.
that's how I exactly how I
Even
see Wimby, but it's worse
it's
because
funny because I remember Rondo doing that.
yeah,
Rondo used to have like this thing where he would go in the middle, fake one way, and just do like a quick
yeah,
layup,
like yeah, cool,
right? And
yeah.
then, but
Rondo was the
when they
first guy
played
that
Magic, it was
he
like
would like he would do
no,
the
no. It
behind the
was like
back,
he was looking, he was like, "Where you at, Dwight? Where you at?"
yeah.
Because Dwight would come out of
And the
nowhere and
same thing
block
happened
the
with
shot.
Wimby. But to your point, I don't think people are getting that. Like I'm just looking at the MVP list over the past 4 seasons, and it's
Let's do it.
Giannis, Nikola, and then Joel. And center, power forward. What do those positions have in common? They're big man position. How many people in this world are 7 feet tall? Not that many. You're not relating this award to the average Joe, and that's my issue with the NBA. The NBA was very popular, you would say, right? Back in 2010, all the way up until 2017, 2018, right? You got Derrick Rose in 2010 won the NBA, won the MVP, and then fast forward a couple years later, Steph Curry won back to back, then Russell, then James. That was the time where people were having like, oh, who's better than? Remember we were talking on group chat all the time. I say Kyrie Irving's better than Steph Curry. I was wrong, obviously, but I would say these type of things where we would have these guard debates. But now all we get are big men. Like no one cares about big men in this. No one cares about big men at all. Like
Well, I mean, if you look
I'm
at
looking
if you
historically. I don't think we've ever had a time where this many big men have won, other than the '70s.
well, I
Like
mean,
you look
I'll
at it
push
from the
back. What about
'60s
the?
to the '70s.
Let's go to the '90s, brother.
Let's go to the '90s. No, only two centers, or I
Charles
guess
Barkley, Hakeem, David Robinson, Karl Malone. Like those are the '90s, dude.
yeah, but it wasn't.
Then
It wasn't. You had Jordan, but not even tough because it was literally a Jordan. It was literally Jordan's
Jordan
after.
should have won every year,
Yeah,
but they didn't. They were
I
saying
mean,
we got fatigue
I don't know.
with the
To
share.
me, I just feel like there needs to be a little bit of like we shouldn't have a power forward win the award every single year. To me, at least, that's there needs to be some type of ambiguity where it comes to
Well, I think
winning the
if you
award
look at the MVP,
and
there's
spreading it out.
always there's a story to be told. And if you look at the MVPs, you have the 76ers. Embiid got it, and it was pretty much like it felt like a lifetime achievement award more
Yeah,
than hey, here's the MVP. I know he averaged 33, but I think his name has been there so often that they were like, we got to give one. Jokic won two, Giannis won the two before, and then here's your guard craze that you're still in love with. James Harden got one, Russ got one, Steph got two, and then we go back to the forwards with KD and LeBron, and then sandwich in between like Derrick Rose is there for a
yeah,
guard.
but okay, you would say that Katie and Braun are gonna be in that GOAT conversation. I mean, maybe not Kevin
Oh yeah.
Durant, but some people believe that Kevin Durant is a GOAT in some people's eyes just because of
Well, if you
his
say Kevin
scoring
Durant's the GOAT, I mean I'm not gonna criticize
yeah,
you. Kevin Durant's one of the most prolific scorers the
of
NBA
all
has ever
time.
seen.
Yeah. At
Like
his
he's
height,
7 feet and he can do everything a guard can do.
50, 40,
It's
90.
absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Like
He's only
so
won one MVP award. That's the thing. Kevin Durant's won one MVP. Joker's got three. About to have three.
well
It
I think
just
the thing
you stack
it
up careers
goes
against each other. Give me Kevin Durant's career over Jokic's career.
there's a twofold that's happening, in my opinion, Joseph. I think when KD and Russ were together, they were both hurt by, hey, you're playing with another MVP candidate, right? When you look at the Nuggets right now, people disrespect Jamal Murray. They make it seem like Jamal Murray is one of
Is
the
a scrub,
trashiest
yeah.
players in the NBA,
Yeah, and I hate it.
and it's just not true.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just
the
not true.
top. He's the top 8 point guard in the NBA.
And people just like make it seem like he's so far beneath that, and Jokic is just carrying this team. Like, no, man, like he's really good. Michael Porter, he's another guy who also gets lost.
First round pick,
Aaron Gordon, Aaron Gordon
max
was
player.
a top pick, and like his team's extremely good, guys. Let's understand
Yeah,
that he needs that same um, sentiment where we're like, hey, he's playing with another MVP. He might not be playing with another MVP with Porter and Gordon, but he's darn sure playing with some good talent. It's not like he's playing with I Cam and like who are some scrubs. I don't know a scrub team, but it's not like he's on the Wizards.
I mean, you look at what a guy like Steph Curry has to play around him. I mean, compare that to what the Nuggets have.
Mm-hmm.
It's
My
it's
MVP
it's two
from the
different
games I
teams.
have seen, and when I say I don't watch the NBA, guys, it's probably like I don't care that it's on, but I pay attention to it. If that like I'm not watching the game anymore, but I'll keep up with it. That's what I mean. Um, Shea with Thunder. Like if you look at
Yeah,
his team,
averages
I
like
don't know
22
their
or
roster,
23, I
man. I
think.
don't know. I don't know these guys, but they're
I
playing
don't want to
extremely
see
good ball, and they're led by Shea.
who's
So I mean,
22 or 23.
he would be my he'd be
Yeah,
my MVP.
yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I think either Shea or Luca for me. I think either one of those two guys. What Luca's doing with the roster that they have around him, dude. Earlier in the year, they didn't have Kyrie, they didn't have Tim Hardaway, they didn't have Derek Lively. They were playing with some guys from the G League. They were coming back from like 20 plus points down. They
Yeah,
were
everyone
they
does that
were
now.
like, but not winning though.
And
Like,
that's another guy who plays Matador defense. So
but
usually
yeah,
guys that
Luca
don't
does
play
not play
defense.
defense. Luca does not play defense at all. I know that, but he
Okay.
has improved. He has improved. He has improved this year. He played a
Oh
little better.
yeah, he does this on his closeouts.
Yeah. I mean, what are you? Yeah, but Shea doesn't play. I mean,
No, because it's the same
Shea does
thing.
play
One
defense,
of these
but
during the summer when we're bored and there's like no sports going on, we're gonna have Zach's conversation about who's the greatest of all time. Because I'll show you some numbers that I got where it's like Michael Jordan does all these great things, and then like LeBron, I think you gotta blame him. You gotta blame him for
not playing
um
defense.
yeah, he doesn't play defense. The dude refuses to play defense. Like
He loves his chase down blocks though.
that's all he does, but he doesn't do anything else. And you have everybody follows after you. Like I remember reading in the newspaper. This is well, it was like when the Warriors added Steve Kerr. When they added Steve Kerr apparently went to you can fact check and go ahead. But Steve Kerr apparently went to Steph Curry and said, "Hey, if you want to be considered one of the top guards, you're gonna have to guard the top guard." And like that was a challenge to Steph Curry. And I know he's not an amazing defender by any means. I'm not. I won't say he's a Gary Payne. Never. But you can't say the kid doesn't try on defense. He's my so he's he's older. Can't say the man doesn't try on defense. Like he puts in a lot of effort.
He does a lot of
He
effort. I would
plays
say.
his passing lanes. Like he'll try if he's up. He'll go against Cat. Cat's backing him down. You'll see little Steph trying to be like, "No, nah, man, you're not backing me down." And um, yeah, it's made him a better player. It made Klay Thompson's defense better, Draymond defense better. Like your whole team, it's crazy. When you play defense as a star, everybody else plays defense too. It's kind of crazy concept. But
Yeah, I agree there because even when I'm watching the Lakers, when LeBron's not on the court and Anthony Davis is on the court, and Anthony Davis is like doing like two blocks, getting rebounds and stuff like that. The whole Lakers team, like even D'Angelo Russell's playing defense. So and D'Lo doesn't like he's probably one of the worst defenders in the league. So
mhm.
like I do agree with you where you get the best out of your players, and that's one thing I will say Jokic does around him. He does get the best out of the players that are around him. So I don't want to make it seem like we're like
On the offensive side
crapping
of the
oh
floor,
yeah, on the
yeah,
offensive
I'll
side of the
give
ball,
you
yeah.
that.
Like I'm
Yeah,
not making it
because
seem
basketball,
we're
unfortunately, you got
yeah.
to play defense too.
Yeah, I'm not making it seem like we're trying to crap on Jokic just because, but he's the guy in the way of a lot of other guys getting MVPs. Where we're the same argument talking about voter fatigue, talking about not playing defense, talking about not being the best team in the league. He gets the benefit of the doubt in situations like
Do you have like a NBA Finals? Like, do you have the Nuggets going to the finals?
um, it's gonna. I'm biased. I think the Lakers
So
can take
you're
them.
gonna go with the Lakers? Who's going
I
Lakers?
think the Lakers and I think the Celtics are a team to watch out for in the Eastern Conference is going to be the Magic in the playoffs. Now, the reason why I say that
The Magic are pretty good, aren't they?
they are well, the reason why I say that is because
It's,
there's
it's
a
funny.
guy, and I've been saying this since last year.
Paolo?
Paulo Benkera, his game is a playoff game. His game is not meant for the regular season. Like you know how Paul Pierce game was his game like in the playoffs. Paul Pierce when they made it, Paul Pierce in the playoffs was really good. Like his numbers just increased in the playoffs. Like he was averaging like 25, 26 a game during the playoffs. So I think Paulo Banchero, bro, is going to be that X factor to where, depending on who they play, where the seed ends up, they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But realistically, I don't see anyone beating the Celtics unless the Celtics beat themselves. Like that's the only like even the
They're
Lakers.
just so
I
they're
think it's
just they
a
got so much talent
yeah
that they like even if Tatum got injured,
they
I
have
still think the Celtics have a good chance.
yeah
If
I agree.
they like
And
they're really deep.
they play really well. Like one thing I will respect about Tatum in the game is he doesn't force any shots. Like you watch him play, none of them are the only person that I will say that forces shots up is Jalen Brown. And I think that's only because he's trying
He
to
gonna
prove
get
himself.
his.
Exactly. But I will say the kryptonite
There's
to
a lot
beating
of
the Celtics is making JB be the scorer. And the Warriors
that's
tried
what the
that.
Warriors thought,
Yeah,
and they
that's the
lost
Warriors
by
thought.
50.
Yeah, but I think in a 7 game series, he's not going to get 50, 40, 30 every night. Like, he ain't going to
Yeah,
make them
because
shots.
I think the East is really bad because I'm just gonna go to 8. I'm not going 9, 10.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers, even with Embiid, I don't think they have a chance.
Oh, no.
Pacers, they're fun, but they're made for jokers. They don't play defense,
Yeah.
so they're getting beat. You got the Heat. You can't go against Heat culture. Like there's something about Heat culture.
I'm so
But
tired of it. I'm so tired of Jimmy Butler, by the way.
it's real, man. That Heat culture is real. So watch Johnny Juzang in the playoffs score 20. You're like, dang, he's good too. It's like,
You see, this is what I hate about the playoffs. Because I'm sorry, I know you look to them
go
all,
ahead.
but that 4 and 5 seed, the Magic and the Knicks, those are my two teams that I think could really beat the Celtics, Magic and the Knicks. But they're playing up against each other, and they both play very physical. They both play hard, and that series is going to go 7 games, and they're going to tire each other
Yeah,
out, and they're not going to be, and they're not going to win this next round, and it's not going to be
yeah. I'm
because they
hoping
aren't the
it
better
switches
team.
up.
It's not because they're not the better team. It's because they're going to be tired. And this is my biggest thing about the NBA is because the Bucks are frauds, the Cavs are frauds.
I want to push back on the Bucks being frauds.
Okay, let me hear it.
I think the Bucks, because their first matchup is going to be versus the Pacers,
Most likely, yeah.
right?
And that's gonna be a rivalry.
Assuming things stay the same.
It's a
Yeah, they
rivalry
stole the
though.
ball. They stole
There's
the
a
ball.
it's a rivalry in it. They don't like each other. But the Pacers won the series this year in the regular season. They only
I
won
just think
one.
it's
They
gonna be
only beat them one
I just
time.
think it's gonna be a different level in the playoffs.
I agree.
Because now the are the Pacers still gonna try to push the ball and score 150? Like I don't think that's playoff basketball. So
Okay,
that's
T.
what my only concern with them. The Bucks, I feel like can't score in the half court with what they have.
Yeah,
I don't know
they're a
about the
transition
Pacers.
team.
And
I
then at
think
the end of the day, in my opinion, you have a trump card with Giannis. If Halliburton's going crazy, hey Giannis,
go to the
guard him.
basket, go to the free throw line 18 times.
Yeah,
And
so I
make
mean,
and make 12 of them.
so I think the Bucks would win that one, man. And if you go, who would they play? I'm gonna go higher seeds. So they would play the Cavs the next. I don't think the Cavs beat Miami. I can't even do the higher seed. So they'll play Miami
Yeah.
next. I think that's gonna be a 7 game series. I think that's
Miami
gonna be
being
crazy.
42 and 33 though is crazy.
I
It's
don't think
like
it matters. That's why you saw what I did with
no,
the Cavs. I
it's
threw the Cavs aside. I said,
no, but I'm saying though, their strategy wise though, like Eric Spoelstra was like, "Hey guys, let's just get a top 6 seed. We're not doing the play-in." Like that's literally what his thing was.
well, they went to the finals
Because
last year with the
because
play-in.
you look at them, you look at no, I'm just saying. But if you watch them all
I know what you
season
mean. Yeah,
long, they were not a good team. They just weren't. Like them winning 42 games is crazy. But I look on the flip side and I look at my Lakers, they're at 43 games too. I'm just like,
all right, let's
how
go
are
to
the
the
Lakers
West.
at 43 games?
Let's go
The
to the
West is
West
the West.
because my pick is gonna be surprising. I know you're gonna be crazy. I'm
You,
like, what?
you're probably gonna say, listen, if I will say this, I think I think the T Wolves. I think the T Wolves.
T Wolves, right?
I think the T Wolves.
The T Wolves are.
I think the T Wolves.
I think they're the team to beat.
They play
It's
great.
insane.
They do not take a play off. I've never
No,
seen a
they
team like
fit.
this. And they come up for the challenge each game.
They have multiple guys they can throw on the wings to guard wings. You know for a fact, Gobert, he
Yeah,
can't
as
do
a
crap but stand up, and he's straight. He's good when he stands up because that man, he's like 7'8" or something like that with his hands up, and he gets all the rebounds that are come to him. He don't chase down rebound, but he'll get them. They fall to him, and man, I think Anthony Edwards in the fourth quarter wants it more than anybody
yeah,
else in the NBA.
I agree.
Like, yeah, I would give you like I remember Devin
Between
Booker, like was it last year or 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago when the Mavs versus in the Western Finals, and like Luca was shooting the ball and just talking trash to Booker. Booker back down. Booker couldn't do it. Talk trash versus Anthony Edwards. Go ahead, Luca. Go ahead, Luca. I want to see it. Like,
no one's
because
talking
Luca,
smash. He
because
gonna
Anthony
dunk on
Edwards,
you, and
the
then he's
crazy
gonna
thing is, he's gonna dunk on you. You might get hurt. Like with him dunking on you, we've seen that.
yeah,
And you know what, Luca? When you're on offense, you might be covered by Anthony Edwards. Like he's
yeah,
he's he's not like you, where he's hiding on defense.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like he's
but no,
coming
no,
for you.
he wants to challenge. Like
No,
it's
I agree.
man. Now, like that's the fun part. If he doesn't, I'd throw him an MVP candidate too. Like, I just would give it to Shade only because he's dealing with the younger team and they're pretty much somewhere in wins. And I know Cat, I know Rudy Gobert,
Jaden McDaniels is also a big. Michael
McDaniels,
Conley. Michael Conley, honestly,
yeah, they have a lot
yeah,
more
post
pieces
All Star break, he's been
um,
really good.
that I was, yeah.
They just have
But
a
I'm with you
very
there.
good team, and I like how they play. I
I just
just
like how they
wish,
don't have to,
and
and
I like Finch. I like Finch a lot too.
I like Conley when they don't have to rely on Conley. But I'm
Well,
not a fan.
sometimes like I
So
was watching the game,
when you don't
and
rely on him, I'm
sometimes
cool with it.
they do need him to get some threes up and
Then
score,
they will lose.
just to take some pressure off of Anthony Edwards. Because Anthony Edwards, one thing I will say about him, he will go through some slow spurts during some games where he will start off slow. But third quarter, fourth quarter come around, he's ready to play. That's one thing I've noticed about Ant. But yeah, that's the team I
Can I
don't
tell you
want.
who I'm disappointed
As a
in?
Laker fan, before you do, as a Laker
Go
fan,
ahead.
I would want to play the Nuggets over the T-Wolves in the playoffs. I think we could. I think the
Yeah,
Nuggets are
because they're
beatable.
in the play-in.
But go ahead.
Your Lakers in the play-on right now,
So they're ninth seed right
and
now. They're one game
I
out of
think
our
that
two games,
they'll destroy the Warriors
1.5 games
because
out
they'll
of.
put right.
Yeah, there's. Well, the way that it's working is so. This is weird because it's like a four-way tiebreaker for the sixth seed between the Suns, the Pelicans, and the Kings and the Lakers. Obviously,
Mm,
the Kings and the Lakers are like a game behind, and the Lakers are a game and a half behind. But the Kings, they owned the tiebreaker between the Pelicans and between the Lakers.
mm,
But the Lakers own the tiebreaker between the Suns and the Pelicans. So depending on which team, because I think three of these teams are going to have this. Two of these teams. So the Lakers play the Pelicans last game of the season. So that's going to be a deciding factor on where they seed. I just do. I think that game is going to be for the 6th seed, 7th seed, 8th seed, whatever the case may be. And then the Suns, they've been winning lately. The Kings,
mm,
they've
mm.
been winning lately, even though they've lost.
The Mavs are right there
Oh,
too.
the Mavs are, but the Mavs they have an easy schedule. Last time I think they have the easiest
Oh,
schedule
okay.
down the road. I'm not positive on that. I just got to double check, but I think they have. Yeah, they play the Hawks, the Rockets, they play the Warriors, the Hornets, the Pistons. So I think they go 4-2 over these next 6 games. They're gonna lock in that fifth seed. Gonna be locked. So,
Mm.
but yeah, but what were you gonna say? The most disappointing team?
Yeah, the most disappointing team for me is the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
I watched them on one night; they look really good. I watched them on the road. What's the road playoff? What's the road
The
record?
roll is 21 and
Because
16. But
I
I
I
agree with
wouldn't
you.
guess that. I wouldn't guess that
I agree with you. They play
because
different
they
at
are
home than they do
so
at road.
bad.
I agree.
They are so bad. It's like, man, I couldn't. I was like, dude, this is the same team that I just watched 2 nights ago. Like they're like this is what I'm saying. Stop watching because it's hard watching these teams,
Yeah.
shoot 33s and only make 5 of them. I'm like, dude, this is annoying.
So
So
who do you, so you got the T-Wolves coming out of the West? You think? Because I mean I agree.
I really do.
If
I
not the
really do.
Lakers, if not the
I would
Lakers, I think the
say
T-Wolves.
Timberwolves Celtics and Kevin Garnett's going to be conflicted.
That'd
He
be
won't know
good
what to do.
finals. Who do you think
He
wins
won't know
that
what to
though?
do.
Dude, the Celtics won 60 games this year. Man, this
Personally,
is
I
crazy.
don't trust Tatum. I'm as for me, I don't. If he's your best player, like
I agree.
I
I
like what the
agree.
Celtics did. I like what the Celtics did because they surround him with so much talent that you don't have to depend on Tatum to score 30 to win. So I think that's really good, really smart by the Celtics because they know that when pressure's on, he's going to fold. So let's try to make it as less the least amount of pressure as possible on our superstar. So really smart team building by the Celtics. But yeah, if it's a clutch situation, I'm taking Ant Man. You can give me that guy over pretty much
Yeah.
anyone in the NBA right now. I'm not gonna lie.
And I watched their game earlier this year when they
But if
played
the
against each
if the
other.
Timberwolves win the NBA
Both
Finals,
games went
that would
close.
be absolutely incredible, man. That'd be the wildest thing ever.
How would you like if you're
If they
Alex,
won,
Alex Rodriguez and his friend who got cheated? Yeah.
I heard he didn't have the money.
So that wasn't the
His account
case.
overdrafted.
That
What's
wasn't
the
the
case?
case.
Okay, what's the case? I'm hearing what's
Apparently, so we're talking about the situation between Glenn Taylor, owner of the T Wolves right now, majority owner, and then the partners that bought the majority stake of the T Wolves, um, um, Alex Rodriguez and his other business partner. So they're making payments. They bought the team in 2021 for $1.5 billion. They made payments, and they got to the last payment, and apparently the payment was declined, which revoked the contract. So Alex Rodriguez and his team came out. They made statements and they showed proof that that the payment didn't get declined. Gam
mm,
Taylor, I don't know if he said anything to me, to my understanding. I think the only thing he did was release a statement saying that they didn't follow through with their commitment and the team is no longer for sale in terms of the majority stake. Now here's the thing, they still own a minority share in the team. So those board meetings are very weird, I'm assuming, because on one hand you have a guy who you and I will say this, the Timberwolves fans are very upset because they're tired of Dylan Taylor. They think that Glenn Taylor is a guy that only is staying this long because the value of the T Wolves have increased. So he sold them for $1.5 billion. Now they're
that's
worth
smart.
$4.5 billion.
Make a deep playoff run.
So
They'll go up
they win a
again.
championship, they're
Yeah,
going to be double the $4.5 billion. They're going to be $9 billion worth. Like the Warriors are what? What are the Warriors like? 11 billion, I think, like that, 10 billion, something like that.
I don't know the
The,
numbers. Yeah,
they're worth in the high. Like the Knicks, the Lakers, and the Warriors are like the top three teams right now in the NBA. I think the Celtics are the fourth. But regardless,
mm,
that's where the situation lies. Um,
interesting.
I haven't heard anything ever since the statement got released from Alex Rodriguez. I don't know if they're gonna like sue or anything like that for it. I think the biggest thing is just not trying to makes this a distraction during the season. I think there's some where the team's doing so well where you don't want to cause this ownership distraction for your players to have to answer to. You know, like how you like it during the press conference in the playoffs. You know, your teammates are, I mean, your players are getting asked questions about what's going on with negotiations and the ownership group.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have any other things you want to talk about?
No, nothing comes to mind.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in with us, guys. I may make this 2 episodes, make this a basketball and a football because I didn't realize we're gonna go for that long about basketball. So, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, please like, subscribe, tune in to our next episodes, and we'll see you guys then.